Right down with that. We got 3 words for you. Like the podcast. Nailed it!
Welcome to the world of Three Beards Media Podcast. We're thrilled to announce that all of our podcasts are now broadcasted live by the Betfred Sports Studios, the official sports book of Three Beards Media. So don't miss a minute of the action and be sure to download the Betfred app today to get the best odds on all your sports betting. With the Betfred Sports Studio, you can enjoy the excitement of our podcast while placing your bets and winning big. Get ready for an unforgettable sports experience. Good evening, everybody. Episode 2, Like Father, Like Daughter. I am your host, Chris Shipley, with my co-host and daughter, Caitlin. Caitlin, how are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. Sorry, I was just sharing this on our Facebook.
Oh, well, that's all right. So as you can see, I changed the opening because you were a little whiny crybaby and didn't like what I had.
I wasn't a whiny crybaby. You picked none of the photos I suggested.
I think it's the same thing. It's a whiny crybaby. That's what I think.
Oh, okay.
So how are you doing?
Not too bad. It was actually not too bad of a Monday, so surprisingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I launched a new website at work and got that all up and running. So now I'm working on that. So, well, hey, that's exciting stuff. Shut up. Considering the last job, they wouldn't even let me touch anything. So
yeah.
It's all good news. All right. So we're going to start. We're going to kind of go a little crazy. We're going to come up with some fun stories. I think we got some good topics to go on. Of course, first segment is always sponsored by our primary sponsor, Revelton Distilling Company. Cracked open the first bottle of the new rye whiskey. Cracked it open. It's not the signed one. It's not the one that Robin Christie signed, but I did crack it open. So the initial full episode, Like Father, Like Daughter, I thought, what better night than to pull out the rye whiskey for me to get through this. So.
I ended up getting Walker that second bottle, and I think it lasted about 4 days before he cracked it open.
Oh my gosh.
He was like, I gotta try it.
It's
and then it was good. Everybody tried it. Everybody liked it, but I was like, come on, you were going to save it.
This is barrel 2, batch 195 out of 262 bottles. So there we go. So, yeah. All right. So our first segment is always going to be Mom is, always around the table. Whenever we sit down, we always have tell us something good today, right? Tell me something good happened today. So in honor of Mom, we are doing our primary sponsor, Revelton Distilling Company. They sponsor this segment. We're going to hear from them real quick, and then we will come back with tonight's first subject of we're going to tell the audience about something that happened since the last episode that was good. So here's our ad from Revelton.
At Revelton Distilling Company, everyone has become a part of the Revelton family. From the Taylors and their daughter who helped perfect their award-winning gins, to the team who installed Lucy, our 33-foot-tall custom-made still, right down to the local farms that provide our coveted corn, and even the cows on those farms who consume our mash byproduct. Want to see the farm to flask come to life? Now you can tour Lucy and find out where we take Iowa's harvest and transform it into our finest spirits. Choose between a 45-minute tour or find out even more by scheduling a VIP behind-the-scenes tour to get the taste of the full Revelton experience. You can visit them at 1400 West Clay Street in Osceola, Iowa, or find all of Revelton's award-winning spirits at any local grocery or spirits retailer.
What are you giggling at?
It was my voice. I was not expecting an ad that I had met for. And you know what popped into my mind was probably all the takes it took and you sitting on the couch laughing at me when I kept messing up. Like I was like, oh
I think the coveted corn mash, is what really got you alive.
I heard it in the ad. I was like, coveted corn mash.
It was so, yeah.
Oh,
that was so funny.
Surreal.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. All right. So give me one thing that's happened since our last episode that you want to talk about that's good. What's good?
Oh, that's good. You know what? I think you should go first. I gotta think a little bit. I was too busy laughing at the ad to think about what was good.
Okay. So for you guys that don't know, Josh and Jordan were going to Strive Academy for 2 years. It was part of their IEP. They were on campus, living in an apartment, going to class every day, coming home on the weekends. Josh and Jordan graduated Thursday night, so we went to their little graduation ceremony to Strive, and then we had a little party at our house on Saturday. So we had some of their friends and some family come over, and we just kind of hung out for a couple hours. Of course, it was no different than yours last year. It rained on the day that we had. It was so nice all day, and then it rained. So.
Yeah, I think just going off that, like I love when our family from Harlan comes in and everyone can get together, have a few drinks, eat some good food. So I really enjoyed the mac and cheese. Of course, Jordan and Joshua were in by the end of the party, and everyone was still outside. But I don't blame them. It was kind of cold, so
I know. I actually had to change into pants. I had shorts on, and I was like, "It's a
I
little."
know. And I was like,
the
man,
rain
that's
and
why
whatever
no
was
one's
getting
too
cold. Well,
Yeah.
and then I went that night. I went to go pull the cars in, and Mom had pulled the Bronco all the way down to the next block, and I was like, "What? Shit! I got to walk all the way down here to go get this stupid Bronco." Which, by the way, got my car back today. So supposedly,
that's something good that's happened.
Supposedly the radio is fixed. Supposedly, but we will see. I don't.
Well,
I don't know.
we've had our own car troubles, haven't we?
We'll get to that. I know. Well, and the guy called me today, and he was like, "We have, the warranty on the radio was supposed to get fixed because it's like the 4th time that they've tried to fix it, and the engine light was on, and there was something going on with that, and so that was a separate warranty issue." Anyways, he told me all that was wrong, and he was like, so it'll probably run you about $500 and some dollars. And I was like, why would it cost me that?
Pause.
I'm under warranty. And he's like, no,
under warranty.
Your warranty expired. And I was like, no, it didn't. I got the fucking thing right here in my hand. I had the sheet right here in my hand.
I got a reputation to uphold. Watch the F word.
I don't.
You know what? If you're watching,
did you not hear the disclaimer at the beginning?
Hey, you know what, Christopher? I'm actually trying to do some good. So shh.
Okay,
hey, if you're watching us right now, why don't you go ahead in the comments and tell us something good that happened this week? You're a part of our dinner table right now in honor of our mom. In honor of my mom, his wife. Why don't you say something good that's happening right now or that's happened since in the last 2 weeks? Tell us your good news.
Yeah, we'd love to hear that. So then
I'm better at this than you are.
That's not a given. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't even know why Tim and Aaron put me in charge around here. So
it's because I made a logo and you just ran with it.
We did. I know. We left the tailgate society and we were like, what should we call ourselves? And we were like,
man, I was bored at college. What do you?
Well, initially you had made it
just for old man strength.
Yeah, Denny likes that I say the F word.
You know what, Denny? I'm in a career where they may not appreciate it as much.
True. That's true.
What's going on?
I don't know. I'm trying to play with this thing and I got all messed up. Anyways, I'm new at this. What we were talking about? The car?
I get your car, I guess.
Yeah. No, so they were going to charge me for this warranty, and I was like, no, I don't think so. So, good news. Heather's got good news. Tailbone surgery finally got scheduled. We saw that. Yeah. So
I know. Yeah. So I and I'll shout this out on the podcast. I told Heather, I got summers off. So you let me know and I'll be down whenever.
That's great news. So I saw that she had posted that. I didn't realize that she was dealing with a lot of that. So
was with her when she broke her tailbone. Like she was we were messing around in her backyard. And she went down the slide with her son. And when he was, a toddler, I mean, he was 1 or 2 and she broke her tailbone. She's like, and I was like, you good? She's like, yeah, I'm good. She was not good. She was she was strong. So, I'm so glad that this is getting resolved for her.
I was gonna say that maybe she's got the Chandler genes of
The
clumsiness, but then it dawned on me she's not a Chandler. So
No.
sorry, Heather.
No.
Never mind. I'm just glad
sure
you're getting
that's all
better, right?
It's a learned behavior.
It's a learned behavior, right? See, she's got a sense of humor. It's one of the few Chandlers that love me. All right. Denny's going to Florida next week. That sucks. I want to go to Florida.
No,
So-
I'm stuck here.
Right? I think it's supposed to be 70 degrees. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I just way to rub it in our face, Denny.
Right, I know. Good thing. Make sure you tune in next week, Denny. I'll be sure to talk shit about you while you're down there in Florida. We booked our that's the other good news, right? We booked our vacation. So long story. So we had booked a vacation. I think it was before I got fired from the last job I was at. And I had to we had booked this thing through Jamie Fritz, who everybody go check out Jamie's vacation planning. She's awesome. She booked a vacation for us. We're going to travel down to Hot Springs, Arkansas for a couple of days. We're going to stay in a VRBO down there. And then we really wanted to go to like Louisiana because Mom and I are, kind of trying to knock some
I don't
states
remember
off.
being a part of this conversation, but you guys said there was a beach and I was down. So.
Right. So, right. You just sort of have certain criteria that we have to hit.
Exactly.
But so we had found this. Well, Jamie had found this really cool house in Waveland, Mississippi, which is about 45 minutes from New Orleans, about 40 minutes from Biloxi. So we were super excited. So we booked it, paid for everything. And then like a couple weeks later, I went to go look at the listing on VRBO and it was gone and I couldn't click on it. And I was like, what the fuck? So sorry. Anyways.
We need a curse jar for this
Right,
podcast.
I know. I need
for
a
our
beep.
next vacation.
Right. I need a beep thing.
I got
so-
a doorbell.
So I messaged her and she's like, no, I still see it. And the lady said that she took the listing down because they weren't going to rent to anybody else, but they were going to honor the listing. And I was like, okay. And I wasn't, super,
Okay.
I wasn't exactly convinced that
Sure.
was the way it was going to work. So, but sure enough, last week we got an email that they had refunded the money. At least they refunded the money. By the way, I don't know if you guys can hear, but that's Bubba. He wants part of the conversation. He's barking. Just tell him upstairs. So we had to.
Here.
So to Kenya. So we had to go rebook. We had to go rebook the a different place. So we started looking, and we found a really cool house. It's got a private pool. It's got a dock. It's got an outdoor bar, so that we can drink some Revelton while we go down there. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm just like really I'm having a good hair day today.
I know there's a lot of times where I'll sit here and I'll just kind of
Yeah, I know. Or
chew.
chew a pen or pick your
I
teeth
can't.
with a pen like Travis did.
Shut up. Tell Travis to shut up. All right. So yeah, so we're going on vacation to Louisiana in
And
June.
we're like, what now? Like less than a mile from the beach. So
yeah, so we're pretty
super
close to the
psyched.
beach and
I
have
think it worked out a way better, except now I have to share a bathroom with Jordan and Joshua. But
and Walker.
yeah, but I can handle him. And
You
three
can handle the boys. You can handle
three
them.
of them. Three. I shared a bathroom with them for what 12 years.
Yeah. So it
15
should be.
years.
Yeah, so it should be nothing. You should be able to handle that. What's the big deal?
Hmm.
It's not like they.
They'll- you know what? You know what? If it's like any other vacation, they'll just use yours and Mom's bathroom because it's way better.
Yeah, we get the fancier bathrooms.
Yeah, they want in that one.
That's because we're.
I mean,
paying
I
for
don't
it.
blame them.
That's because we're paying for it. I can't. How many times did Josh come into the bathroom in Colorado because it was like a jacuzzi type bathtub?
Yeah, I don't think I ever. Well, in Colorado, I think in every vacation we've had, let's see, Gulf Shores. Well, not every vacation, but I think Gulf Shores was one that really stuck with me, just because. And I tell this story all the time, but when we were on the beach that first night, I was like, "We're going to the beach. I don't care." We were all in our clothes. We had just put everything down, and I was like, "We're going to the beach. It's dark out, and we're going to the beach." And we went, and the sound of the waves, the moon was really big. It was just beautiful. I was like crying on the beach. I mean,
You
like,
were.
when am I not crying?
I
And
know.
then of course you had to make it corny. You put your arm around me. You're like, I do this for you, baby girl. Like I love you. I'm so
never
happy I
said
can
that.
give this to you.
I never
You're like,
said
I'm
that.
so, shut up. You're so corny. You know it. You know, Mr. Heart-shaped chicken. Like you're corny.
Oh my God. I made.
You put your arm around me. You were like, hey, I'm so glad that I could give you this experience. And it's something that stuck with me. But what really stuck with me was the size of that bathtub in my own room. I remember I was taking some DMAC courses that I'm pretty sure I failed. And
yeah, that was
I had
in the
my own
summer of
bathroom.
2020.
Oh, and then when we were in Florida, my senior year, not right before my senior year, so not at my choir trip, but before that, when we had stayed in a Airbnb or something.
Yeah, when we were with
I remember
Sarah,
walking into. I was like, I have a room with a lock and a walk-in closet and a bathroom. Like I was like, I never need to leave.
That was
so
it.
I think that really set the precedent for me that I was like, I need to have my own bathroom. And now we booked something. Of course, it's last minute and it's a very beautiful VRBO and it's got that private pool and it's going to be really awesome. But I was like, dang, the first vacation, then I don't have a private bathroom. Like usually we can find something. I know there's a half bathroom that I just might claim for myself. Nobody comes in here.
The fact that I can't name a time that I went on vacation when I was a kid. So let alone when I was 23.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm not appreciative. I'm just saying I'm used to this standard.
Right? I'll tell you what, that was a game changer when we went with the Heims that first time, and we stayed in that VRBO, and I mean, to the point where I was like, I am not ever going to go on vacation again and stay in a hotel room because the ability to just spread out and not be on top of each other.
Grocery shop. I think one of my favorite memories from that trip, and I'm not going to oust anyone, but there was somebody
Tim
in the rental car. I think there was like Connor and Colby were fighting and Sarah was on him, and then we wrecked the rental car and you're like, what happened? And then
he didn't technically wreck the rental car.
He just
ran into a pole.
And then not like ran into, like we were in a parking garage with one of those. I mean, I've hit one of those at Jimmy John's and Ames. So like, I'm not gonna, I get it. Right. And it wasn't that Sarah didn't want him to get that truck. She was like, don't get that. And the boys wanted it. So he was like, I'm gonna get it.
Wanted it. So that's why he got it. I know. Well, and then later we went to the beach. Remember, we drove on the beach, and that truck was so heavy it sank into the beach and it got stuck. And I was like, "Oh, come on, Tim, seriously."
And then didn't Connor get stung by a jellyfish? Like that was
Colby
just
did. Colby got stung by a jellyfish.
You know
and
what?
We tried to tell him that if we peed on it, it would be all right.
That was. I think I love. First of all, I love when we hang out with Sarah and Tim. It's just. I mean, I know the boys are always like, are Colby and Connor coming? But you know what? They asked the question for me because I want Sarah and Tim to come, right? Like, I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, are Sarah and Tim coming? And then the boys ask if they're coming. And I'm like, yes. Are they coming? And then when mom's, oh yeah. When mom's always like, when mom's like, no, they're not coming. I'm like, like if it's Ryan and Angela or Sarah and Tim or whoever, like I just love having them around. They're always a good time. We took a girls trip.
She doesn't like going with just us.
I just like more people, man. I you know me.
More people like Denny, who went to Clear Lake and all 5 kids, mom and dad, with one bedroom, one bathroom.
Couldn't be me, man.
Listen, I'd have been all over that, man. If my parents took us on vacation,
listen. I mean, I may or may not still have to wipe the seat, check the seat, do a seat check. I don't have to do that in my own apartment. When I go home, we got 3 men in that house. I have to check the seat. I don't have to do that at my own home. So
whatever.
But at least Jordan and Joshua wash their hands.
What? I don't know what you mean. What do you say?
How many times have you walked out of the bathroom and mom's like, "Did you wash your hands?"
Listen,
Spell check.
I only wash my hands when I accidentally pee on them.
You're okay. We're not even going to get into this.
You
because
asked the question.
You know what?
You asked.
It's you know what? It's a sad day when every day I have to remind
I will bet
people to wash their hands, and they're under the age of 10, and that your wife has to remind you to wash your hands, and you're over the age of 10.
That I will bet you that we get at least one comment or two of somebody that fake washes their hands. They just run the water and don't.
Well,
really
at that
wash
point, you've turned the water on. Why not just at least put your hand under the water?
Yeah, but then your hands get all like when I wash my hands all the time during COVID. A little bit of that. When I washed my hands all the time during COVID, like my hands would dry out.
Boo! I wash my hands 15 times a day.
And then
smooth as butter.
And then all the like chemicals and the squirt stuff.
Listen, nothing is as bad as school soap. You know, that antibacterial.
I know. It's true.
Although I do miss Iowa State, which was one of the reasons I went there. Do you remember on my visit? I was like, melon soap. Their soap was scented like a melon everywhere, in the dorms, in the lecture halls, in the Memorial Union. It was green soap, and it smelled like cucumber melon from Bath and Body Works. And I was like, sold. And they had chocolate milk on tap. Sold.
That was what sold you. The chocolate milk on tap.
But listen, I got to enjoy the melon soap through senior year.
Such a bogus deal. You guys had it so much better there.
And ice cream bars, ice cream machines. Their firecracker chicken on Fridays. Bridget can attest to that. Their firecracker chicken and their Subs sandwich station. Who needs Subway? You just go. Go to UDIC and UDCC, and you got substations. You got the Asian section. You got the home countryside section. You got the pizza and the salad and the pasta. My favorite though was getting some pasta, a little bit of Alfredo sauce, a little bit of pesto, put some shrimp in there. I also gained like 20 pounds my freshman year, so I was lonely. So ate a lot of ramen, ate a lot of.
I was lonely too, but only because, and I gained a lot too, but only because I ordered pizza all the time.
Well, yeah, I was because I lived in Towers.
I lived in Towers.
They didn't have a dining hall out there.
They did, but it was in between the towers. But it was also like you didn't get like choices. It was like a regular cafeteria. They served one or two things, and you chose one of those two things every time. So
on Saturdays after the game, Storm, which was the name of the dining hall at Towers when I went, which was the name of one of the buildings when you went, right? Right? Was it one of the towers like Storm or something like that?
Yeah, it was. Yep.
Well, they tore Storm down, and then they made a dining hall and called it like Storm Dining. And they always had wings after the game. Immaculate. And that ranch, amazing. I have the recipe for the ranch that Iowa State has, but it's in bulk, so it's really no use for me. It's one of those
I'm sure that you can cut the recipe down.
I was told there would be no math. I had an in the dining hall, and all she had was the bulk ranch recipe.
Jeez. All right, let's move on. We're gonna go to our next segment here, sponsored by Brown Dogs Farm, since we're talking about food and spicy chicken and
their ranch. Their
ranch
That's
is really
the bougie ranch.
Yeah, right.
You wouldn't let us use that ranch, and you were like, "This is only for like." Not for like pizza.
Right. You're not dipping this. Ranch. Right. You're not dipping this in for Totino's pizza squares. That's not happening. You buy the Kraft stuff and then we can move on.
Kraft.
I know. The best part, you know how I know that ranch was really good and homemade?
Yeah.
The boys would not eat it.
Right. It was but their spicy one, their spicy ranch, so good.
Yeah.
With and I know you said not to do the cheap things with it, but it elevates the cheap things. So
It
when you
does.
get those frozen Fairway chicken patties and you just tear those suckers up and dip them in the spicy ranch, game changer, man.
All right. So this next part of the podcast is where we get a little more spicier. These are things maybe that I didn't tell Dad when I was a teenager. Some pet peeves of mine. We're going to talk about cryptic Facebook messages and how much that pisses me off. And then I sent you a TikTok today.
Oh yes.
That we have to show that brings up some questions about Melvin. So check out our other sponsor, Brown Dog Farms, spicy ranch, regular ranch, all their hot sauces. And then after we're done, we will get back into it.
Brown Dogs Farm are Norwalk, Iowa made hot sauces and dressings. Brown Dogs Farm was born out of the dream to emulate the simple life of Rob's grandparents, who inspired him with their hard work and abundant gardens. Rob and Amanda set out to create a unique blend of fruit and pepper that would satisfy the part of the brain that craves great flavor without sacrificing the spice of the peppers. Sweet, but still packing heat. With combinations like jalapeno green apple, habanero peach, cherry rhubarb reaper, and other great flavor combinations, there is a spice and flavor that is right for any party or get-together. BDF also has homemade versions of their classic and spicy ranch that are one of a kind. You can order all of those and more online at www.browndogsfarm.com and ask your local grocery to stock up.
Yes, Travis, I know. Speaking of TikToks, we'll get to it. I know. We'll get to it. Okay, so first topic under our Brown Dogs Farm spicy takes. These fucking people in their Facebook, like, cryptic messages.
I can't even say. I can't speak on this topic because I'm getting in too deep with this topic, and
I'm just saying, like, seriously, why do people do that? I mean, I know why they do it. They do it for sympathy and they do it for woe is me. But I mean, if you're going to put out there, I can't really say anything, but my life's in shambles right now. And if you guys could just say a prayer for me, but I don't want to say anything. Listen,
how am I supposed to pray for you?
Right. Like, what am I praying for? God's a busy man. He's got stuff to do.
Please pray for Billy Bob. I don't know what's going on, God, but and you know what, the sentiment, I get it, right? Like the sentiment when I'm saying my prayers at night, like the sentiment is there, but the intentionality of prayer includes like kind of knowing or having a little bit more detail of what you're praying for. And when people are like, you don't know if like this person's just having a bad Monday, or like if it's more serious, right?
On what
like
scale of the prayer meter does this prayer have to be? That's what I want to know.
Right.
Is it a 10? Like, is it like a 10? Or
like,
is
do
it
I need to
2?
say some Hail Marys with it? Or
right.
like
Right.
No, I totally get it.
Jason's will probably be whether or not Brian Ferentz can actually go over 25 points.
Okay, well now we're getting into sports, and but like in all seriousness, like I see that and I'm like, man, this person is really hurting. And some people, they really do, like, you can tell the people who are like, their privacy
hurting
is
though,
really
or
important.
are they just looking for sympathy?
No. Like there are some people who are very reserved. I mean, like take me for example, my Facebook, I don't post a lot. I don't post a lot.
Jason, I need a 7. I need a 7 rating on your post. I really need some prayers, but only if you could just fit it in maybe after practice, because really it's only at a scale of a 6.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Me, for example, like I don't post a lot on Facebook, partly because of my job and partly because I just don't feel the need to really post on Facebook very much. I like to scroll and see what's going on. Like I'm an observer on the Facebook line. But like if it's people I'm really close with and I kind of know what's going, like if I needed prayers. Now, granted, when you were diagnosed with cancer my senior year, I took that all up for what I could, right? Like I think that people just kind of not thrive on that, but people, they want to know that they have people. And I think that people don't think they have people. And then they're like, please pray for me. And you're like,
Okay.
I'm praying for you, but like,
Okay, I'll give you one of these. This is a good example. And again,
okay.
that person shall be named nameless, just like we did in the earlier segment. And no, I don't necessarily think it's the same person. I don't know. But a person had posted something about having to go to the hospital. Okay. And then in cryptic messages, and then 3 or 4 people responded and commented and said, I hope everything's okay. Are you okay? And then for the next hour, they proceeded to post a bunch of memes that had nothing to do with the seriousness of their hospital visit. And I thought, okay, now hold on.
Side eye.
Right? Like, that's the kind of stuff that like,
no. Okay. That makes sense, right? Like, I get where you're coming from.
It ranks right up there with the Karens on the town Facebook page bitching about.
Oh man, don't even get started. We should have a Norwalk Facebook page. Oh, I said the town. I'm sorry. We should have a town Facebook page section.
We should. Oh yeah, we should totally do that. We should totally do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my pet peeve. I sent you a TikTok today.
Okay.
You did watch it, correct?
Yes.
Oh, if we're talking about pet peeves, how about the fact that I send you TikToks and then you never respond back? That
send them to me with
funny.
6-year-olds, and I don't know if I should open them or not. So I don't open them.
I mean, you should probably just turn the sound down and just watch the.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you'll know.
I think it would be frowned upon in my job to have an AirPod in while I'm working.
Probably. Okay. So this person posted a video that says things my boomer parents said to me as a Gen X child. And I will count on hand how many times Melvin said them to me, and you can count on how many times I said them to you.
All right.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Things my boomer parents said to me as a Gen X child. Stop crying, or I'll give you something to cry about. Wish in one hand and shit in the other. See which one feels up faster. People in hell want ice water. You don't always get what you want. No one likes a tattletale. Go outside and fight it out. I don't care if you almost did. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Okay, so I had all 5.
Okay, but the tattletale one you never did. I think you just told us to go away. You're like, go outside. Never to like fight it out. Could you imagine me and Tyler fighting?
Yeah,
we had our own wrestling promos for when we went on the trampoline. We would play music and come down the deck steps.
Oh, see, that's when I wish I had phone cameras.
Oh my goodness.
Probably the one is for me, the main one for Melvin is stop crying or I'm going to give you something to cry about.
No, I thought it was going to be the shit in one hand.
That's a close
one. In the other one.
No.
Which one builds up
No.
faster.
His favorite was you can look up sympathy in the dictionary between shit and syphilis and see what you get. That was whenever I would look for sympathy. Whenever I would want to post on Facebook a cryptic message looking for sympathy.
I think the one that stuck with me was, well, and you know what? I don't think you said this very often to me or Tyler, and maybe not to me, because I think by the time, you say all the time, I mean, my nickname as a baby was Baby Shut Up. Like, we knew I was going to be a sensitive one. I mean, to this day, I showed you the Lorax song like a week ago and I was crying.
Crying like a little baby in the car.
Like, I think you just kind of knew that I was sensitive, but it was when a perfect example, I don't know if you remember this, when I was 14 and I think I 15, I'd gotten in trouble for like not one of the first times I'd gotten in some trouble, and you were like so mad at me, and I went into my room and I'm crying. I'm sobbing, right? And this is when we're upstairs in our house now. I'm upstairs, I'm crying, and at one point I'm like, nobody's paying attention to me. I'm going to cry louder. So I'm crying. I'm like sobbing really loud, and you come in and you're like,
that was in this house?
Yeah, you were like, you got to stop, man.
Oh, yeah.
You were like,
okay.
you were like, seriously, it's not that big of a deal. Like it's a deal, but it's not that big of a deal, man.
I do vaguely remember that. I
think you know what I think it was. I think it was we had a show choir performance at Lakewood, and me and my friends, everyone in the show choir was like, we're gonna go get McDonald's after the Lakewood performance, and so we like all kind of cut class longer than we should have. And I think you grounded me.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. And I think you grounded me.
And you deserved it. You deserved it.
I was like, I'm going to make a big show out of this. You know, I'm like 6. I was 16, right? Because I was on varsity show choir at that point. I was like making a huge deal of it. And you're like, you got to cut it out, bro.
I'm not going to lie. There have been plenty of times where you have gotten a little emotional. And after you've walked out of the room, I've said to your mom, oh my God, I cannot handle that. She has got to stop. Like, it's not like there are times where you and I will have a conversation and you're upset, and I will say to you, your feelings are valid. And really sometimes I just want to go, oh my God, quit your fucking crying. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm 23 years old and I still do it. I mean,
I know.
We can think of an example, you know, back in February, I was like, you know, and I'm feeling those emotions in the moment, and I'm like big, and I'm like throwing myself on the floor because that's just like how I feel. And you're like, did you bring your Xanax? You're like,
can you medicate yourself, please?
You were like, do you need some of your medication? And I was like, I didn't bring it. And you're like,
I think it was one of the times was when you were getting ready to move, and I don't think I've told you this end of the story. So we were talking about you having to move, and you were getting all your stuff together, and Mom says to you, and I think maybe you should start paying your own cell phone bill. And I thought you had thought somebody had shot your cat, and you go downstairs, and I'm like, it's $45 for God's sake.
This is when I broke the closet.
You went downstairs. All right, let's give a little backstory for everybody. And Debbie,
I just want people to know this happened a year ago.
Right. So, and Debbie, I'll get to your comment because I want to talk about Aunt Lana. But I have been telling her for 3 years that if her closet door breaks because she's got it so stuffed full of shit, I'm going to lose my mind.
Wait,
I'm
pause.
Pissed.
Pause. I think after like the second time you told me to that, Tyler was moved in. It was 2020. And the closet broke. And I was like, don't tell Dad. I kept it a secret for like 3 years until like last year.
So you go downstairs after we drop the news, you got to pay for your cell phone bill. And all of a sudden, I hear the loudest fucking crash. And I can only imagine your thought was, oh my God, he's going to lose his mind. Because I've had that with Melvin before. He has told me specifically something, and I did not listen. And then all of a sudden, something happens, and I know it's coming. That's the worst part. You know it's coming. And I felt so bad for you, I let you off. I did not yell at you.
I was like, and my first thought was, oh crap, he's going to come down here, start crying. No, not like I could. But honestly, I was moving. I still had stuff there from high school, right? Like
yeah. By the way, you still have
I went to college. Stop. I went to college, and you know, I was like, this will be a future Kate. Listen, past Caitlin leaves a lot of things for future Caitlin all the time. So I had left it for future Caitlin. Well, future Caitlin didn't appreciate that. You know, like And you know, like, I think it was like 2 weeks out from when I was moving out, and you're like, you got to get that stuff packed.
You had not
dude.
packed
Like,
anything.
I had not. I don't think I started packing till the week of I started moving. Like, I had the stuff from college still packed away, but it was like the stuff in that room I did not have packed. And you were like, you got to get that stuff packed. And we were talking about all this stuff, and I was starting to feel, I mean, this is a very common thread in my life. Like, I'm such a procrastinator. I am. And then I procrastinate to the point where I'm overwhelmed. And that's a pattern in my life that I'm trying to break. But at this point, like, I had procrastinated it the whole summer, right? Like, I wanted to go see Walker. I wanted to go to the pool. Like, I didn't want to do that. That was too much to think about. So I had procrastinated, and then I was like, I told them I had more packed than what I had packed, and you guys were like, can I come help you? And I was like, no, I don't want you to come help me, because I didn't want you to see how much I didn't have packed. And so then I start packing, and well, first of all, that bar wasn't installed very well.
No,
it wasn't. The bar, it was being held up by zip ties and duct tape.
The bar was installed and well enough for a normal person to use the closet the way it was intended.
It was not installed for a teenage girl.
That's fair. That's fair. I will sympathize with you, because I was a procrastinator quite a bit. But at one point, it's something it may have happened during college. Maybe when I got kicked out and I knew I had to, that was part of the reason, was because I was just putting things off or whatever. I think the fear of absolutely failing anymore kind of kicked me, and now I'm way on the other side. I'm uber organized. You want to talk about the ultimate procrastination? Let's talk about your graduation, sir. Okay, we gotta move on to Debbie's comment. We don't need to talk about my graduation.
You know what, commenters, comment next time. You know, comment now if you want to hear that story next time, because we want to talk about ultimate procrastination. That's the story.
That's not necessarily procrastination, as just avoidance of the whole issue.
It was, I think that's clear definition of procrastination.
It's just a complete avoidance of facing the music. That's what that was.
Right.
So, Debbie, our cousin in Omaha, shit in one hand was Aunt Lana's comment for sure, and I'm sure she was Melvin's sister, so that was 100% for sure, probably a Shipley thing, no doubt in my mind. So I see you got a visitor there, a little dog there.
Yeah, this is Obi.
Obi?
Yeah, from Star Wars, but his middle name is Frisco, because 49ers fans. Obi Frisco.
Okay.
Obi.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to segment 3. Again, we are sponsored, as always, by Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Caitlin and I are in the middle of doing some advertising for him. But if you are looking at refinancing or looking at a new home buy, new construction, things like that, Kyle can do your mortgage no matter where you're at. So if you're in Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, he can handle any transaction in the 50 states. So we are going to he did a series of questions with another realtor. So we're going to play a clip of one of those questions. And then we're going to come back with, because Kyle is so helpful and gives help to other people, we're going to talk about what do we need help with and what would Melvin tell us. So with that, we're going to get a word from Kyle, and we'll be right back.
Our first question for Kyle is, what different programs do you offer?
We have a wide variety of programs, whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned investor. We offer Iowa Finance Authority, which will allow you to purchase a home with no money down. We also offer USDA and VA, which there are some restrictions with those, but again, no money down scenarios. And then we have your traditional conventional FHA products for anybody that would fit into those buckets. And then from an investment standpoint, we do offer some brokered out options, bank statement loans, DSCR loans, and for self-employed folks, as little as 1 million tax returns.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, and we're back. Be sure to give Kyle a call. He'll definitely help you out. When we refinanced with him a few years ago, we saved a crap ton of money. And he always makes a good point. I know that rates are kind of high right now, but the market is still hot. And you can get some pretty good concessions, I think, from sellers now because the rates are higher. And then once rates go down, you can always refinance. So there's tons of options. Okay. What do we need help with? Caitlin, you had some car trouble this week. You called me because your brakes were rattling. You got that fixed, and now it's not working. But you had a question about what?
So, well, let's start with the car, right? Like, I called you last Monday, I think it was, and I was like, my brakes are crunchy, right? Like, I'm stepping on the brake. I think that's the only way to describe it.
You've missed the squeak part.
But it didn't squeak. That's the thing. Well, okay, we got to backtrack even further because I had hit a really large pothole that I didn't see because I was not on a well-lit road and I had a headlight out.
Which we told you to replace several times.
So then I get the tire pops. So then I get the tire replaced. And then like a week later, last week, I was like, my car is crunchy. That's not right. I don't know a lot about cars, but I know your brakes shouldn't be crunchy. So I call you, you tell me you take it to this place. I take it, I get it fixed, whatever. It cost me about $1,000 to get my brakes fixed because I needed a whole new caliper and hose and a whole bunch of things done. And I get my headlight fixed. Well, that first night driving was like butter, right? Like my brakes are uber sensitive. I have both headlights. I was like, wow, this is what driving a car should feel like. I was like, I had forgotten. Well, then I was driving last night and I was in the McDonald's drive-thru behind a white truck. And I noticed that same headlight was out. And I was like, wait a minute. So I'm looking on the receipt they gave me and it said that they had replaced the left headlight. And I'm like, which one is left? Like, I don't, when I did
honestly,
some research,
I started to think about it. I don't know. Is it left as you're sitting in the car or left if you're looking at the front of the car?
I looked it up. Your left headlight is your driver's side headlight.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I don't, but anyway, I don't remember. I don't know which one right now is out. I think it's the same one. So I called them today and I was all ready to go all, Melvin on them. And I was like, I just came in last week, got my headlight replaced and my brakes fixed. My brakes are squeaking. My headlight's out. Something's up. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Is there a time we can get you in? And I was like, yeah, let me check my schedule. Like, I was so like, oh my gosh, they're so nice. I can't be mean to them, but now I'm like, okay, I'm going in Wednesday. And if they make me pay for anything, then I'm going to go Melvin on them. But let's be honest, I'm probably not. Like, I don't have the guts to do that. Honestly, if they're saying like, if it's something else in my brake that needs to be fixed or replaced, I might be a little like, I'm going to be upset and be like, that's something you should have told me last week when you fixed my car and I spent a bunch of money. But if it's the other headlight, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if it's the same headlight or not. And they're like, no, it's, they're like, if they're like, no, it's actually the other headlight. I'm going to be like, oh yeah, my bad. I should have gotten that replaced. But if it's the same headlight, I'm going to be like, listen.
It should be. I think it's the same headlight.
I think I'm scared it's the wiring or like a fuse or something. Like that's what I'm scared of.
Fuse is simple, but if it is, then we'll have Uncle Brett look at it, and then maybe we speed up the timeline of trading that car in.
Yeah.
I have learned. Speaking of Melvin, I learned a long time ago when I worked in a customer service role and on the end of it, I sometimes don't lose my shit on people anymore unless they're specifically like not helping. You know what I mean? Like the insurance
Listen.
company last year, like the insurance company for the house. That person would not call me back.
Well, I mean,
could
yeah,
never-
you
you know
went
what?
months and months on that.
I
I have a
yeah.
perfect Melvin example for you that you went all full blown Melvin. It was when
I don't know that I've ever went full blown Melvin.
it was when we were getting the pictures for the basement, the big canvas prints, and the guy was like, it printed on like a glossy poster, and you were like, "That's not right," and he's like, "Oh, I'll get this reprinted, but it's gonna take like 30 minutes or something," and then they printed it on.
No. We had waited 40 minutes and drove over there when they said it was going to be ready, and then when I got there, they were just starting it. That was
And then they printed it on the canvas.
right instead of just poster paper, and I was like, I am not paying for that.
And he's like, "Well, we'll just throw it away." And you started getting so mad, and I'm like, I'm there too, and I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm gonna make.
Well, why
jokes or
would you throw it
whatever.
away? That's stupid.
At one point, you were getting so mad at this guy, and I get it. He made a mistake.
Rob, I
You-
seen you
Rob.
go full on Melvin one time a long time ago. I may have. Yes, I may
He
have done.
made a mistake,
okay.
and you.
No,
you were
I
so
will-
mad. You're like,
here's-
"You're just gonna throw those away? Well, why can't I just pay the poster price for those?" And he's
Right.
like,
I mean, why would you throw them away? That's a waste. That's
I
dumb.
think if you open up those photo frames, it's canvas.
Denny said, I worked customer service the last 25 years. As long as you don't attract me, just my company, you're good. So absolutely. I know it's not the guy on the phone's fault, right? But Rob, it was way before your daughter was born. Yeah, because I've chilled out so much since then, Rob.
Listen,
Okay.
he's had to deal with me. He
Here-
can't go full Melvin
no,
all the
I will
time.
tell-
I'm
I
too
will tell the-
sensitive.
I will tell the full Melvin story of the rental
Wait a
car deal
minute. Yes.
in St. Louis. Okay, so backstory for everybody. We had talked a little bit earlier. We had went to Florida in 2017. We were with the Heims. We flew back into from Orlando into St. Louis. Got to St. Louis. Our flight was canceled from St. Louis to Des Moines. We had to get back to Des Moines. I probably could have taken another day off. Our family probably could have just got a hotel and flew the next day. But Tim had to work the next morning. So I was like, let's just get a really big van. We'll rent a car and we'll split up the driving and we'll go home. So Tim was cool with that. So if you've ever been to the St. Louis airport, you can't rent a car in the airport. You have to ride one of their vans, get in a van, drive 3 or 4 miles to their terminal, and then rent a car. So I got on each one of the vans and I said, do you do a one-way rental? Nope. Do you do a one-way rental? Nope. Went to Avis. Do you do a one-way rental? Yep. Okay. So we got on the Avis. We ride the bus to the Avis station.
I think it was Hertz.
No, Hertz is who we ended up getting a car from.
Oh, okay. We're
Standing in Avis. It's me, Tim, Stacy, Sarah, and all the kids. All of our luggage. It's like 10:30. It's like 9:30 at night. And I go up to the lady and I said, we need to rent a car, a large van or something. We're going to Des Moines to get home from. Okay, no problem. I said, do you have a large van? Yep, we have a large passenger van, 10-person van. Perfect, that'll work. So we're doing all the paperwork, and I said several times, probably 2 or 3 times, we're going to Des Moines. So she looks at me and she says, so when can you return the van? What? I said we're going to Des Moines. I can't return the van. It's a one-way rental. Oh, we don't do one-way rentals. Are you fucking kidding me right now? I said, I literally said this 3 times. I said, I even asked the guy on your van. And she's like, oh, no. We do one-way rentals. Okay, well, that's just great. I've wasted 40 minutes in here filling out all this paperwork. So now I'm scrambling. So then I get on my phone and Tim's talking to her and I find out that we can get one from Hertz. They don't have vans, but at this point, me and Tim can rent cars from Hertz. Hertz is literally down the street. So
Down the highway.
right down the highway, yes. So I said to the lady, can your van take us down to Hertz? Oh, no, we can't do that. We can take you back to the airport and you can get on the Hertz van and go to Hertz. You know what, lady? Fuck you, I said. And I lost my temper and started screaming at her. And Stacy had to drag me out of the place. So here we are, seen from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, traipsing down the highway with all of our suitcases and whatever.
All 7 of us?
All 7 of us. We get down there. We're the only ones in there. We get the last 2 cars. We get our keys, and the bus from the airport shows up with all those people that were on our plane. And we got the last 2 cars. And we proceeded to drive back home. But yes, that was probably the last time I went full Melvin on somebody. True.
No. Gulf Shores. Or no, Jordan went full Melvin. Wanted to go full Melvin.
Jordan went full Melvin on TSA.
And you were like,
when they opened
Jill. You're like, I'm
well,
not trying
you don't
to
mess
get
with
a TSA,
TSA.
Jill.
You don't
Right.
have for TSA. They broke his suitcase. I thought he was going to lose his mind.
Gotta pop the blood vessel.
Because he had those metallic playing cards.
Those holographic play cards. I mean, they thought that my sand and shells was. I was like, listen, it's not drugs. I'm from Iowa.
Right.
I
I've
just
chilled
want
out.
sand.
I've chilled out much more now that I've gotten older. I just don't have the energy for it.
Wow.
Okay, so what's your question about car insurance?
It's not car insurance.
Oh, I thought it was
It's
car insurance.
no. It was about my regular health insurance through work. What's an
Oh.
HMO? What's a PPO?
Shit, I don't know.
Dude, I asked Terrell. I asked Walker's mom. I was like, "What's an HMO? What's a PPO?" She's like, I was like, okay.
I have to look at the plans. To be honest
maybe,
with you,
maybe I'll just have to ask.
no,
you know,
I would have to look at the
I said,
plans.
you know what? The person to ask is my mom because she has the same plan. So.
Right. Yeah. I'd have to look at the plan. I know there's a HMO. You can only go to certain doctors or whatever else.
Honestly, I don't think I have to worry about that till like August. So I think
I have
good.
not filled it out in so long.
I don't have
car
to worry
insurance-
about it till I'm 26. So
That's true. But you should get on it and just be done with it.
Well, I
mean,
guess.
it's part of your package. So I have to we also have to talk about car insurance to get you off car insurance. So when you get a new car.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
I don't know.
Okay. We're going to wrap up here. We are going to finish up with what our segment would be the best bet of the week. Of course, we are broadcasting live from the Betfred Sportsbook app. I will confess that I'm terrible at sportsbooks and terrible at sports betting. Last night, the Kings were down by 6 going into the fourth quarter. I put a $2 bet on them at plus 450 that would have netted me $20, and they proceeded to lose by 27 points. So I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but you can get the best odds from Betfred Sportsbook app. It's a super easy app to do, super easy to do deposits. So check those guys out. We will be getting promo codes. So when you sign up with our promo code, you'll get a cash offer, and then we'll get some stuff. So with that, we're going to best bet of the week. What are we streaming? What are we watching right now? Caitlin, what are you currently streaming this week that you're watching?
Gosh, man. What am I not streaming? So
I know. I was going to start something new last night, and Stacey goes, we've got like 3 shows we've got to get.
I am a serial streamer, meaning like I'm a serial rewatcher. Like I rewatch so many things. Honestly, what I just rewatched and just finished was The Act. Have you ever seen that?
Nope.
Have you ever heard of the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard?
Nope.
She's actually up for parole. It's about a Munchausen by proxy case where this mom.
What the fuck is that? I don't even know what that is.
It's so. Do you know what Munchausen syndrome is?
I have no idea what that is.
So it's when people like chronically go to the hospital and think they're sick.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And they get a lot of things. So this one's about Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Dee Dee Blanchard. And Dee Dee is the mom, and she actually poses Gypsy as his terminally ill child, gets all these donations, gets all these things, gets a house from Habitat for, you seriously have to watch it, from Habitat of Humanity, and Gypsy Rose kills her. It's a famous case, kills her mom. And goes through. You have to watch this because honestly, it's so good. Joey King plays Gypsy Rose in this. It's really good. It's about this girl who the mom, it's Munchausen syndrome by proxy, is when you're controlling somebody else and saying like they have all these illnesses and have all these disabilities, and you're putting this like sickness, that Munchausen by proxy, so onto somebody else. I have to watch it. I just recently binged it the other day, and I was like, yeah, I rewatch it about once a year because it's really interesting. And what's even more interesting is that Gypsy Rose Blanchard is up for parole right now.
Okay.
So it's on Hulu.
I
you
just
should watch.
finished...
It's called The Act.
Well, that's why you needed the Hulu password reset last night.
Exactly. Actually, that
Josh
was for
came down
Nicholas
this morning.
Spark movie.
Josh came down this morning and was like, "What's wrong with Hulu?" Oh, I had to reset the password last night. I finished Love Is Blind season 4. It's good. It's a good show. Actually, no. Two things that I was watching this week. I finished the Harry Potter series again because you were over here that one night and we watched the first movie, and then I ended up having to watch them all. But I am seriously right now into The Crown. We just started season 4 of The Crown, which is on Netflix. They're just now entering the time where Charles and Diana get together. So now we're starting to get into the time period that I remember as a kid. So now it'll be a little more interesting. Although I did find some cool stuff in season 2 about World War II and things like that, which I'm a big history
big
buff.
World War II buff. Yeah.
Yep. So
you're a big World War II buff.
I am. So finishing, or I'm watching The Crown, and I'm in the middle of Ted Lasso, and I cannot recommend enough to watch Ted Lasso. It is so good.
You know what? And I was telling Walker's mom that you're telling me to watch this, and she's like, "Oh, you have to watch it."
See, it's so good.
Give me a few years, like the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, right. No, you just wait till Walker says we should watch Ted Lasso, and you go, okay.
Right.
That's what you did the last few things. So those are currently the things that I'm watching. Matt Heidish the other day told me that The Shrinking on Apple Plus is really funny. That was the one I was going to start last night.
Do we have Apple TV?
Yeah, that's why I'm watching Ted Lasso.
I didn't know. We have Apple TV. That opens up so many more things.
I don't know, but you know what? Speaking of that, all the kids now are adults. We're going to have to start splitting up the streaming costs.
I'll pay for Hulu.
Okay. All right.
Just,
All right. Josh is paying for Discovery Plus. I'll have to find out. Maybe
Jordan can pay for Paramount because he likes, Nickelodeon.
Because he watches a lot of WWE.
Ooh, so. I do like Peacock too. So, yeah. Okay.
But those are our streaming. That's what we're watching right now. Those are the best bets.
Absolutely.
By the Betfred Sportsbook. Caitlin, do you have anything else you want to go over tonight?
No, I don't. Just if you're not watching this live, if you are watching this live, just leave a comment. Tell us what you want to hear from us. If you have any questions for us, we'd love to answer them. And if you're interested in anything, or coming on, let us know. And this would be a really fun dynamic with another person too. I think you would really get a sense for us. Yeah.
That's kind of the point. Is we really would love to have. I would love to have some of the Omaha cousins come on, because I would like for you to learn more about.
I've heard a lot about the Omaha cousins.
I would like for you to learn more about Aunt Lana and Aunt Joy.
Absolutely.
And Uncle Ron.
All good things.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting for that. We would love to have some of the Schmidt family on.
Absolutely.
To learn more about Grandma and Grandpa, and then obviously Grandma Shipley's family side. There's a lot of stuff.
The Millers.
Right. What we want to do is kind of document our family history and things like that, and have some fun. But also, I think it would be fun to have some of my old friends on. We'd love to have Rob on, Randy, Jeff, those guys, tell some old stories. Let you learn a little bit about me when I was younger and things like that. So that's kind of the format of what we're going to do here. So we are an open book. At some point, I'm sure we have to have Travis on. We'll have Nick on.
Maybe some of my friends.
Yeah, we could have some of your friends. You bet. Yeah, we did that on Old Man Strength. So
absolutely.
Speaking of which, we've got all kinds of great content for you guys, all sponsored by our wonderful sponsor, Rob and Christy at Revelton Distilling Company. They are our number one sponsor, have been with us from the beginning. Their rye has went down really smooth tonight for me. And then, of course, I want to show this one last thing. We have got to talk about the merchandise for Three Beards Media. So, Amy from Hot Mess Happy Hour has done such a great job on our website and some of our designs for our merchandise. But you can get coffee cups and koozies and tank tops from all of our pods and from Three Beards Media. These are really cool. These are signature from Side of the Storm. So if you want a signed shirt from Marcus Pfizer, Brent Curvey, George Trice, just to kind of show you what that is.
Such a collector piece. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, they're not the actual signature, but there's Brent
I mean,
Curvey's
that's their
too.
signature. I mean,
Right.
and they're not signing it everyone individually, but that's,
Right.
I mean, that's authentic.
Yep. So
Absolutely.
we got some good stuff in there. Hot Mess has got some stuff that they're going to launch for a charity, which will be super cool. Let's go to their Hot Mess Happy Hour with the Wing Chicks, Amy and Jess and Holly.
And Charles.
And then, of course, their May Contain Whiskey probably does coffee cup that they
That's
got.
pretty
So
good.
anyways, threebeardsmedia.com. Go to the website, click the merch option, and get some merch. We're going to get some Bitter Units stuff up there pretty soon. But again, all of our podcasts, Old Man Strength, Bitter Units, Side of the Storm, Fill in the Blank with Anya and Mackenzie is doing some hockey stuff right now. They're going to do a live feed off that. Hot Mess Happy Hour, and then Fall Starts with Bill Blank and I, which is going to get back up. Shout out to Bill. He was in the hospital for a little bit, but he's doing better. So prayers are with Bill too. So
Absolutely.
all
Not
right.
the vague kind. That's like
Right.
an 8 or 9,
This is-
right?
yeah. Well, he's out of the hospital now. We could probably do a 3 for him now. So
We love
but,
you, Bill.
But last week it might have been a 10. So
Mm-hmm.
there we go. All right. With that, we're going to close out. The audio portion will be posted here shortly. We appreciate everybody's support. And with that, we are out.